What's going on YouTube? Today I'm going to be installing this triple tree back into the bike. So instead of using the traditional ball bearings that came off the motorcycle, I'm going to be replacing those with the old balls tapered ball bearings. And the biggest reason why you want to use this is to eliminate the vibration that is caused in the steering stem. So I already installed the sleeves in the bike, but as you can see it is tapered, right? So as it is tapered, this ball bearing will basically center the shaft in place, and you can have a tighter fit as these ball bearings are installed in the bike. And opposed to this setup, the traditional setup is just simple sleeve with ball bearings basically floating inside with grease all around it. And as you could imagine, the stem could move left and right and up and down and all over the place, which in turn will create vibration when you're riding it. And I'm sure Honda back in the 70s didn't know much about ball bearing movement and torrents and all that stuff. So first of all, I want to show you what I removed from the motorcycle to get to where I am right now. So in top and bottom of the stem here, you're gonna see a sleeve for the ball bearing. So this is where the ball bearing sits inside from factory with grease all around it, and you also have this little seal so that the grease does not come out, and you have another sleeve where the ball bearing, I guess it's like a cover for the ball bearing that comes on top. So that's what the bike has from factory. What you want to do first is just grab a screwdriver, put that inside, and tap out the old sleeves, which is in here, top and bottom. And once that's out, I already put this in, but these are the spherical race that came with the old bearing kit, top and bottom. Hope you can see the bottom here. So you just want to put it on the surface and tap it in with a hammer. And on the steering stem side, you also want to remove the sleeve that is in here. Okay, so this sleeve sits flush on the bottom. What you want to do is grab a hammer and just tap it out, and this will be replaced with a washer that sits in the middle, a spacer that sits in the middle, a seal, and then the ball bearing. These are two different sizes. The one on the bottom, as you can see, the diameter is larger for the bottom piece, so make sure you don't get too confused. And what I'm gonna do next is go ahead and tap this in place so it's sitting nice and flush. So the order for the kit to go in is spacer first, and then the seal, and then the bearing. So I'm gonna go find a little pole here so I can stick it in and hammer it down. So I just grab a little pole, and what I'm gonna do is stick it in here and just tap it down. So now it is nice and flush sitting on the bottom surface. So next I'm gonna go ahead and grease this up before it is installed into the bike. One thing you notice is that I have this painter's tape on here. That is to prevent from any scratches. I don't want to put in a scratch in this fresh powder coated piece. So make sure you do the same if your parts are freshly painted. You don't want to see these getting scratched in the process of installation. Okay, so here I'm just using a multi-purpose grease from Napa Auto Parts. I just went around and greased the bearing all over. Just make sure you get the grease inside these bearings. So you want to spin each individual bearing as you go around the stem. And once you're done greasing the bottom, at least, you want to install the stem back in the bike. I already greased the sleeve in the bike as well, and I'm just gonna place this on a jack stand for now. And you want to do the same thing on the top. Make sure you grease the bearing. So now I'm going to put this back in and go ahead and tap in the top bearing. So now top is installed, bottom is installed, and to finish it up, I'm gonna add this seal to the top, just like that. So there it is. And lastly, I wanna thread up the top so that it is locked in place. Now, to make sure this top nut is tight, you want to use a wrench like this. This is actually for my rear suspension, but make just a clicking place like this and spin it. So make sure that's tight, and after that is in place, you can now install your top triple tree. Just like so. And don't worry about aligning it right now too much, because the suspension is gonna go in anyways. So that's what it looks like, and I'm just gonna put this cap on top for now. Oh, there you go. Looks nice, looks clean. No gauge, no ball holder mounts, none of that stuff. So yeah, it looks good.